Hi, and welcome to the Lone Star Play podcast, where we sit, eat, chat, and repeat. I'm your host, Patrick Scott Armstrong, and we are coming to you from Austin, Texas. The Lone Star Play podcast is produced by Texas Real Food. Go to texasrealfood.com, and you can search your city for local restaurants, stores, butchers, farmers markets, and more who are using organic, fresh, artisanal, and local sources. It's a fun site that brings all natural options all together.
I promise you, Patrick, I'm not making much money going to South Dakota and Wyoming this weekend, dude. I'm not.
Sure.
But my band, dude, they have not made. I applied for the PPP loan. I did, and I got it. I didn't make much money. That ran out at the end of June. I don't think I'm going to be touring again until November. So you're telling me the guys that I've had on the road with me for 5-6 years, who I've been their primary income, they don't get to play music in Texas, which is that for 6 months, dude? Like, come on. That's why I'm going to have to take these shows right now. Like, I'm not doing this for my pocketbook to give me an extra $1,000 in my book.
Totally.
It's not what it's about, dude. It's like,
yep.
At the same time, yeah, man, it's tough. And I do feel guilty because I can just right now see someone watching the podcast thinking to themselves, it's not about how is money more important than people's lives. Like, and I get what you're saying. I do.
Hey, brother, how we doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. Just trying to get out of this heat.
Yeah, well, yeah, not for a good while.
I know.
Yeah.
Just started, right? Like July. I'm in Austin, so it's just like just hitting us
nice.
hard. It was like 105 degrees yesterday when I went and walked my dogs at 8:15 at night. Right? It's just like can't escape it.
Yeah,
where you at right now?
I'm in Fredericksburg. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're
That's where I
close
live
to
now.
me.
I got the Boot Ranch shirt working. Boot Fredericksburg.
Nice. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Wife and I moved here I guess it was December of 2018. I've been here like a year and a half now, almost 2 years.
Yeah, gorgeous out there. All the wine, distilleries, just old town feel, right? I just love walking through there, getting a burger, just shopping, just hanging out, getting a glass of wine or a beer or something. Yeah, great city.
If you do drink wine, that's why we're here. Is my wife and her family own and run a wine tasting room called Cross Mountain Vineyards.
Cross Mountain Vineyards. Okay,
yeah.
Dude, I'll have to check it out, man. I absolutely, I love wine. I'm always going out there for that.
It's Italian wine only. They import all their wine, so a lot of folks here like to have their.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a lot of U.S. Napa wine, Texas wine here, but they're one of the only ones who have an Italian import license, and they bring. I mean, their stuff's the best. I promise. I didn't drink.
I'm all about the Tuscans, super Tuscans.
Dude. There you go.
I'm all about it. Yeah.
There you go.
That's awesome, man. I love that chair, first of all, and the guitars behind you. This is perfect.
Well, the chair, it's a bear rug on the chair, and then
I love it. I love that.
The guitars, I got this. I just put this little thing together a couple of weeks ago, as far as where to put the guitars, and I got a few more down there, the amps and stuff.
Damn, there we go, man. Oh, I love that. I had George Dukas on the podcast as well, and he was showing me his same sort of thing. Said he had amps and guitars, and I mean, it was crazy. It was awesome.
It does remind me that the yellow walls need to be repainted. But we bought a bed and breakfast, and this was with the house. It was an old bed and breakfast. So one room's yellow, one room's pink, one room's blue, and we haven't painted it yet. So I got the paint right there beside me actually.
That's me. It'll sit there for like 2 years. My wife's like, "When are you gonna paint that?" I'm like, "I'm getting on it this weekend. It's happening." No, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Kyle, for joining us, man. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely. I just want to talk about, some music, Texas, of course. You can see the flag behind me. Let's just start there, Kyle. Like where'd you grow up in Texas? Let's just start there.
Leander, just north of you, by a few miles. Grew up Leander High School. My parents went to Leander High School. My uncle and aunt, everybody did. And after that, went to San Marcos for college, Texas State, for just a couple of years. But I chose Texas State because I applied to Southwest Texas, by the way. I am that old or that young, what are you going to call it? So, but I went to Texas State. They changed the year I got there. They changed the name. But anyhow, I chose San Marcos because of music. Like being from Austin, so many of my high school friends, they wanted to go to Lubbock because of their older brothers and sisters and such. And I mean, nothing against Lubbock. I just didn't want to be 7 hours away from home, first of all. And at the time, I didn't even really know about Pat Green, Corey Morrow. Josh Abbott wasn't around yet. Neither was William Clark Green. So as far as the Lubbock trend of Texas musicians, that wasn't a thing I knew about. And all I knew was that if I was in San Marcos, I was an hour and a half away from College Station. I was an hour from San Antonio, an hour from Austin, 2 hours from Waco. And I was just kind of in the generals. I was in true Central Texas. And that was the simple reason why I wanted to stay around Central Texas for school, was because of music. And then, of course, then I started touring in Lubbock. That was always like all right, well, we play College Station, San Antonio. This weekend we're going to Lubbock. We got a 7-hour drive this week, boys. But it was comfortable because I had my high school friends there to kind of break me in.
Maybe bring a crowd to sort of get things going, sort of thing. Yeah.
And now Lubbock is like just a hop, skip, and a jump. Like, I mean, 7 hours is nothing. Now we're going to be in South Dakota in a couple of days, man. So yeah.
Totally, that's nothing. Yeah, well, you forget how big Texas is till you get out of Texas. You're like, damn, Texas is big. But you're right, it's nothing compared to exactly the shows that you have coming up. So music, let's talk about music. Like, why? I'm always curious. I do interview a lot of musicians and singers and songwriters on the podcast, and I'm real curious of what, as an artist, creative, like what makes you get into music? Like why choose, I want to perform in front of people, right? Like where does that click happen, along the line?
There are a bunch of reasons. First of all, I think music chose me as a little kid. I mean, I was the kid singing in the truck, like my dad, like, all right, son, quit singing for just a little. You've been singing for an hour and a half now. Just kind of chill it out. And like, I knew every word, every song, every singer. I know every little guitar lick. It's just like before I played guitar, before I was singing on stage, I already had that knack for remembering lyrics and memorizing the song and how it went. Like, I do know a few people who have phonographic memories where they can hear a song one time and know it forever. Yeah. I'm not that good, but like if we play 90s country trivia, I need one note and I'll tell you the song name and title. Like I got that thing going. But and as far as like singing and stuff, I found the guitar at 14 years old, and I always loved to sing, but I was really shy about someone telling me that I wasn't any good because I loved it so much. I was scared. Like it was it was such a passion. If someone said, "Hey, you're not very good," that was just gonna ruin me. I felt like as a 12-year-old, 14-year-old kid. But then I finally got the guts to sing at like 15 with the garage band I was in high school, and my cousin was there, and I was so nervous. And anyway, and just the band, they said, "Hey, that was pretty good. Sing one more." And I'm like, that's all I needed was to hear that was pretty good.
That's it. Yeah, that's
versus
it.
Like,
right.
Let's let Trey sing one now.
Yeah.
It was
yeah, that wasn't bad, Kyle. But you know what? We're gonna bring in. Yeah, exactly. That's hilarious.
So do one more. So that was kind of what got me the confidence to I can sing in front of people without being embarrassed now. And then then when I was 15 years old, I got the job as a DJ at a dance hall in Liberty Hill called Outlaws.
Oh wow!
It was a huge place at the time. There were 2,000 people there a weekend or whatever it was, and I got the job simply because, one, I knew the owner, and two, I worked for literally nothing. Like, I didn't.
You're like, I'll pay you. What do I need?
Labor, I was voluntary free child labor. Yeah. But I did that for a couple of years, and then I got the nerve to get on stage there and sing with the cover bands, and then sing with I get to sing with Johnny Lee one time, Urban Cowboy, when I was 15 years old, and that's when I started kind of getting the just more brave and started writing songs but I've been doing it for so long. It's like I really don't know what else I would do. A buddy of mine were talking a while back. I don't know. I can cuss, right? I can curse on the podcast.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So exactly. I was bitching about the music business and how it's changed, now it's different, and how it's not the same as it was. It's not fair, and whatever I was saying, right? and he just said, like, what are you complaining about? Are you gonna quit doing this? I'm like, well, no, I'm not gonna quit. It's like, well, then quit bitching. You're a lifer and get over it. It's like, man, I'm a lifer. It's like,
you're a lifer. Wow.
And I love that. It's what I am. Like, it shows me. I didn't choose it. Like, I don't know what I'd do besides music. I mean, I think I'm I think I'm smart enough to do other things, but I don't want to try them. I've put all my time and effort into this, and I love it. And I owe so many relationships to music and opportunities to music, and it's just been so great to me.
Plus, you have all these fans, right? Like, you can't disappoint your fans and be like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna start a pretzel shop. I'll see you guys." I love that. Well, what about acting or something? I don't know. Musicians get into, they still keep doing music and stuff, but maybe other creative. I've had Bob Schneider on the podcast a couple times. He does a lot of art, on the side or whatever. I don't know. Are there other hobbies or something else you could creatively turn to, maybe in addition to?
Hey, first of all, I wanted to touch on, when I said relationships, that's what I mean is the fans as well as just the friends I've made. But I feel like in the Texas scene especially, our fans are our friends. They're the ones, they support us.
That's true.
Be on the road, and it's not like we're these untouchable celebrities like Hollywood is, or like whoever else could be. It's
For sure, right?
I'm at the same gas station and grocery store everybody else is at. It's not different.
Love that.
But as far as what was your question? I'm sorry, again, Lee. Was
just like what something else creatively you could turn. Not ever stop music, of course, but just something else.
Believe me, right now with COVID, I've definitely, I've thought about other ways to make income besides music. Not that I need the income. We all need the income, but
sure.
And right now I am unemployed basically because I can't play in Texas, and that's 90% of my business, I feel like. But no, I'm not kidding. There really isn't anything else professionally that I can see myself doing. I'd love to produce records.
There you go.
I produce my own music.
Yeah.
I produced a few other people, but at the same time, that kind of comes in time. I think that your track record has to speak for itself, and then you get the one opportunity that kind of pushes you over the edge, and then all of a sudden you're getting 10 phone calls a day. That's what I think. I don't know that. I know, I know a few producers who you just kind of get lucky in right place at the right time and producing the right person. But
sure, just sort of mentoring other artists or something.
I know a few of my peers have started their own record labels and Randy's involved with Parker McCollum, for example, and I don't think I have not that I have the time to do that because I think Randy's busier than I am. I just don't know if I want to do that. I just think I prefer spending my time and my team's time on other projects that can benefit me more directly, I think.
Sure, absolutely, of course.
I don't know, but my manager, for example, I've personally found multiple artists and passed them on to my manager for him to help them because I don't want to be that guy, but I trust my manager, and I think if this guy's talented, we could all work together and all build each other up at the same time. I believe in team mentality.
Absolutely. That's what it's about. That's what it's about, right? You've got to, once you get to a certain point, it's almost like part of the tradition of helping some people get up to that point and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
It just keeps going. Yeah, exactly. But like you said, it all becomes part of the team. You help them, they help you. It all works together. Do you write songs with other people and that sort of thing, or maybe for other artists? Do you already do that?
Oh man, yeah. I've actually written more in the past 3 months because of COVID and through Zoom and FaceTime, and I've been doing this. Man, I don't tend to write a lot at the house by myself because I am married now. I'm 35 years old. I got more things going on than when I was 20 years old, single dude by myself, writing songs every day.
Get a 6-pack of beer, right? You could just sit down and totally.
I'd write all day just because I had nothing to do and I had no responsibilities. But it's a little bit different now, and I have to schedule time to write.
Sure.
But so it's been hard to write by myself at home, and therefore I'd fly to Nashville once or twice a month or every few months and write there. But golly, takes a lot of time and a bunch of money. A round trip to Nashville is $300 or $400.
Yeah.
Hotels are $200 a night. Usually I find a couch to crash on. Then you're paying for Ubers and taxis and dinner, and it gets expensive. And now I've been writing twice a week on my computer and finishing more songs than I have in the last probably 36 months.
That's awesome.
After you finish the podcast, I'm writing immediately. So
that's awesome. So you don't mind the Zoom interaction, like creatively, like, okay, let's try this, let's try that. That's cool.
I will say that it's a lot better to write in the room with someone because I can feel the energy. I can I can hear the music better because it is kind of what's the word? Just kind of not very crisp over the internet. Like the sound is kind of muffled.
Sure.
I'm like, are you playing a G or a C there? I really can't tell. That happens sometimes, but man, but I will say that when you fight in Nashville, sometimes the first hour often is just kind of like you bullshitting and talking about how's it been going, and you're kind of more complaining about the industry, you know.
I get it.
But when you're at home, it's like you just kind of get right to it. You get to work and you say, all right, thanks, I got to go. My wife's waiting on me. Bye. It's just,
totally.
Or more importantly, too, I've flown to Nashville or I've flown to Colorado to write, and it's just like, oh, dude, sorry, I don't feel very good today. I can't write today. It's like,
oh my God.
Man, I know you live here, but I just spent a lot of time getting here, and
totally. Let's get some Benadryl, right? Like, what do you need?
You save your life. Come on.
Let's get some Theraflu and a fucking Gatorade, and let's get you going. Yeah,
but you can't take it personally. I mean, I know how it feels. I mean, there's also been times I've woken up with whiskey flu in Nashville.
Yeah.
And I don't want to write, but I'm going to do it, you know, and I show up, I'm bloodshot, and I'm yawning, I'm just tired.
Yeah, you got to push through, baby. I'm from the restaurant industry, so, like, I'm a chef, you know, I've worked in kitchens, right? Like, you got to show up to work, man, no matter what the fuck happened the night before. In fact, that's, like, part of the camaraderie of the kitchen is that the fact that you can say that you showed up after, you know, going to Oklahoma and back in the same night, right? Like some crazy story or something. Yeah. No,
you must be up there in Dallas somewhere, huh?
No, I'm in Austin, but I grew up in Dallas. I grew up in Dallas.
Just say you were in Oklahoma last night. That's only something Metroplex would say.
No, but from Austin, exactly. That's why it would be crazy. It's I went to Oklahoma and back, but even in Dallas, that has happened to me one time. I did go to a party one time, and I woke up in Oklahoma. I was just like, what the hell? It was out in Denton, so it wasn't right. Like it's not that far of a drive, but still enough where like I woke up in another state. It definitely shocked me. I thought maybe I should cut back on the tequila a little, a little bit, you know, or not. I don't know.
Or not.
Or not. So that's great. So you're writing all this new music. What about, are you trying to, you know, put together a new album, or is this just because I have the time, I'm going to take advantage, you know, during this time, or was it stuff you already had planned? It's just sort of, you know.
Well, it's both. I mean, definitely I'm taking advantage of the time because there's not a lot to do.
Yeah.
I mean, by the way, let me rephrase that. There is plenty to do. I mean, in life, I've got yard work, I've got housework, I've got...
Totally. Yeah, ask your wife, right? That's what my wife would say if I said, there's not much to do. My wife would be like, her eyes would be like, what? Well, I'm sorry, what? Like, she probably heard it right now and she's at work. I'm telling you, miles away, she just heard me say that. Her ears perked.
There's always stuff to do, but as far as productivity professionally, I mean, I'm working on social media content, but okay, that's great, and I think I know that social media is important, but when it comes down to like, every singer has to have a good song before any social media content's even seen.
Totally right.
You gotta have the musical content before the media content.
This is how we put it in the food industry. You got to have the product before the packaging.
Yeah, exactly. That's at least is what I think. So.
Yeah.
Man, but also I've been writing to put a new record out. I don't know when it's going to come out. I know the usual studios I record in are shut down right now because one guy has one of his crew members like living in the studio quarantined because he's, you know, he's not healthy and can't risk him getting sick. One studio is just not big enough for what I want to do. If I do vocals there, not whole tracking, and anyway, just I know there's studios out there, but at the same time, I'm just, if I put an album out, how do I promote it? By touring. I can't. So
totally. Yeah.
I can definitely see putting out singles right now just to put out content. I don't think I want to put out a record right now. I don't think it's the smartest move. I mean, I could be wrong. If someone puts a record out right now and proves me wrong, that'd be, I mean, there are people doing it. I just personally,
they probably had a lot of it done pre-COVID though, I would assume.
Yeah, I just, there's a mentality, right? It's changed the past 20 years because of streaming and such, but you know, you don't tour to promote your seat you make a CD to promote your tour. Like the tour is not
Interesting.
The CD is the vehicle,
Interesting.
right?
Right. Interesting.
Because you used to make a lot of money on CD sales, and like
Yeah.
now you really don't, because everyone's just kind of getting a song at a time, fractions of pennies at a time. Like the only way to make money is touring.
Yeah.
And that's one reason why I'm proud to say and happy to be an independent artist.
Yeah.
Because at least I own my records. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm making a few dollars right now from mailbox money, from all the, streaming services, radio royalties, and still CD sales. If you're an artist on a major label, you make money on touring, period.
Yeah.
And those guys aren't touring right now, so they have literally zero income. As far as I understand, they might have different royalties coming in, but at least for me, I mean, I know I'm not touring, but I still have residual, which is a great thing. And that's
and you own your music.
And I own my music, yeah. And I've written almost all of my songs. All of my radio songs I've written. I know that all my singles, written or co-written, but of like 75 songs I've recorded, I think I've recorded 4 covers so far, or 4 songs not written by me. Something like that. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
Now it's just proof that, I mean, although it's proof that being a musician isn't a guaranteed occupation.
Yeah.
or a live musician.
Sure.
It's also proof that, I mean, being independent there's something about that right now. And the way things are moving forward, who knows when it'll be before we're touring live consistently. I do think that small towns are going to say fuck it and do it anyway throughout Texas. And they're going to see backlash from that also, though. I think there'll be some backlash. Like we're going to South Dakota and Wyoming, and someone asked me, how are y'all doing that? Like, well, there's no rules.
Driving there. Yeah, we're just driving there. What do you mean?
Getting the bus and going. Yeah. All 77 people are going to be there,
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a safe way to do it. We have to find a safe way to do it. What are we going to do? We're not going to play live music anymore? I mean, that's just crazy. What about sports? What about, I mean, you're talking about a lot of businesses, a lot of live music venues that would have to shut. I mean, it's a ripple effect. I'm from the restaurant service industry, for a long time, and that's crucial. I mean, that's just key. Same thing with restaurants. They're just getting, hammered, right? And bars and everything. I mean, all my friends who are, bar owners, restaurant owners, chefs, whatever they may be, they're struggling big time right now. And, we have to find a way to do it and move forward. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Let me talk about this with you. This is good because, we are leaving for South Dakota here pretty quick. And I was talking about getting a videographer on the road to help chronicle things. And, the first thing our team says is, well, do we want to be showing your fans that you're playing in front of 1,000 people or 500 people, whatever the number, I don't know what the number's going to be yet.
Sure.
But then they might be social distancing. They might not be. First of all, like, how am I supposed to feel? I'm not the guy right now to go out there and go, this is bullshit. We're not able to play. I'm an American. I got my rights. And it's like, although part of me feels that way, I just think it's a little bit selfish to announce that as my feeling. Like, because the truth is, I don't know how I feel. Right, it changes every day. Like, part of me thinks that I shouldn't be going. Part of me thinks that I should be staying home and being part of the solution. But also, a bigger part of me feels like I employ, more than a dozen people who are like a few guys are living with their parents right now because they can't afford their rent. A few guys are struggling, like selling their other guitars, and they're freaking like getting new cars that cost less money and moving out of their house. And I just like, it's not as black and white sometimes as just, you can't do it because I said so. And I feel like you're going to get people sick. Like, I'm not saying that this is not real. I mean, this is the same conversation I've had with 1,000 people, but It's just not as black and white as, yes, I'm doing it, it's bullshit, or no, you can't do it, it's bullshit. Like, there's a lot of factors to be into play. And yeah, I mean, deep down, like, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get my friends sick. And we have guys on the road wearing masks. I know if you ask my bandmates, a couple of guys think, I don't want to be here, but I got to pay my bills. And a couple of guys think, I don't give a shit. I'm going to do it anyway because I ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
And so, like, you have all these conflicting perspectives. And I also have contractual obligations to attain to. I mean, we booked these shows 8 months ago before COVID. And I'm just saying that I to be honest, I don't feel 100% comfortable, but at the same time, I feel more like I need to do this versus I can't do this.
Yeah. Listen, Kyle, I'm gonna be real honest, man. I think that's just a real answer, man. I think you're talking about real things that
Yeah.
real people are struggling with. Just like you said, it's not a black and white issue. It really is. There's a ripple effect to all this, and it's real simple for the government. Just say, oh, just stop doing this. Okay, but where's the help? Where's the support? Where's the we got families to feed. We got things to do. It's the same struggle in a kitchen right now. You've got one cook saying, I'm wearing a mask. I really don't want to be here, but I have to pay bills. Who's taking care of me? I have to do this, right? And the owner's thinking the same thing. I got employees to pay. I got bills to pay. Nobody stopped the rent and utilities. And, I have all these things to pay. I get it, man. I get the struggle that people are going through. I'm sympathetic to it. I feel devastated, that people are going through this. I closed my food business last year in 2019 after 5 years here in Austin. And all I can think is, what if I had not closed? What if I'd have kept it open one more year?
Forced to close instead.
Yeah, I would be going through everything right now, these same, sort of struggles. And it saddens me, man. It really saddens me. And I think people definitely need to be very patient with quick to judge people and point the finger at people and what they're doing. You got to look at the reasoning behind what they're doing, right? They're not just giving a big finger to what's going on. They're saying, no, I have all these things that I have to deal with. And I'm sympathetic to you, man. I think a lot of people, listeners who have a heart would be. And I think your struggle to do what you need to do is real. And I think you're not the only musician. I can't imagine any other musician thinking any other way right now, right? Like that struggle of, what do I do?
And so much. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little selfish, and I want to play. I do just want to play, but that's
I get it,
dude, man. I can't wait to be on stage and play for people. And
sure.
And I'm all about every form of social distancing that we have to do to make this safe for everybody.
Sure.
I'm not doing meet and greets. I won't personally be in touch with anybody.
Yeah.
But I am contributing to people getting together.
Sure.
That's where my guilt lies. But at the same time, I promise you, Patrick, I'm not making much money going to South Dakota and Wyoming this weekend, dude. I'm not.
Sure.
But my band, dude, they have not made. I applied for the PPP loan. I did, and I got it. I didn't make much money. That ran out at the end of June. I don't think I'm going to be touring again until November. So you're telling me the guys that I've had on the road with me for 5-6 years, who I've been their primary income, they don't get to play music in Texas, which is that for 6 months, dude? Like, come on. That's why I'm going to have to take these shows right now. Like, I'm not doing this for my pocketbook to give me an extra $1,000 in my book.
Totally.
It's not what it's about, dude. It's like,
yep.
At the same time, yeah, man, it's tough. And I do feel guilty because I can just right now see someone watching the podcast thinking to themselves, it's not about how is money more important than people's lives. Like, and I get what you're saying. I do. But good Lord, this is a ripple effect. This is going to last so much longer. One of my favorite venues in the state of Texas closed down a couple of weeks ago, Big Texas in Spring, north of Houston. Been around for 15 years, and they shut down the doors because they can't afford their rent.
Yeah.
And think about this, right? Not only did that place shut down, and I can only assume that there will have to be a bar that takes its place moving forward.
Sure. Maybe not, to be honest with you, man. I'm in the industry. I've got my pulse on that. Like, it's all I do. That might never happen. I hate to say that.
Less bars and dance halls mean less opportunities for musicians to play, means less people wanting to be musicians because no one can afford to be a musician. It's supply and demand. If there's no place to house the musicians, there's no place for musicians. And unless we all go online and do live streams for the rest of our lives, that ain't going to happen, dude. People will continue to do live streams forever now, but that's not going to be the primary way we experience music. It's not the same.
It's not the same at all, right? Not even close. It's great, right? It's like great. You said, it can be a part of it. And I think that is cool. That will be something that can come out of it. It's another revenue stream for the artist. It's another way for the fan to interact, whatever. But yeah, like you said, there's no way it can replace a live concert, right? the energy of a live concert is like unlike anything else.
Even, before coronavirus, I remember reading some magazine that's like, here's the future. It's like robot bands, and you can request whatever song, and the robot band knows 10 million songs. It's programmed in, and I'm like, okay, no one wants to see it. Just turn the radio on. Who gives a shit? Like, I don't care about a robot band. But it was like somewhere over in Asia that happened, but it was just China. Golly,
I hope
live
not.
music will forever be important to people. It reaches people. It's emotional. It touches people in ways that other things can't. It's just that, hey, I'll tell you one thing, by the way, as a country boy, as a man, I believe in the handshake. Fist bump's fine with me now, dude. I don't handshake no more.
I know. I love the handshake too, right? I'm Texan, man, so the handshake is crucial.
But if we gotta stick with a fist bump for like forever,
I'm cool with that.
And I can go play music again, and we don't get sick anymore. Fist bump is fine, dude. Elbow bump, I don't care.
Totally.
That's not.
Well, look, my wife's from Spain, so and my mom's from Mexico. So in all Latin cultures, you kiss when you meet somebody. Right, in Spain, you do 2 kisses. That's the European way. Boom, boom. No way. There's no way. But that's got to be so hard for their culture to let that go, because you do it without thinking when you meet somebody. Right?
Yeah.
That's just like a handshake here. It's just without thinking. So yes, these weird little things that you wouldn't even think twice about, before. Now we have to reevaluate. But absolutely, I will give up a handshake to give a fist bump to go to a live concert. Hands down.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I think 5 years from now, people will go, can you believe we used to shake strangers' hands? It's okay shaking your friend's hand, your family's hand, but a stranger? Like, it's the same idea as it's the same idea as kissing, right? Like, you kiss your best friend, whatever. It's like, but a stranger? I'm not kissing a stranger. I don't know.
You're right. That's hilarious. That's funny. Yeah, I'm curious how we'll look back 5, 10, 15 years at this whole period.
Watching robot bands, fist bumping.
God, yeah, the robot band just sounds. That's what we used to watch at Chuck E. Cheese as kids, right? The robot band. No, that's not fun anymore, right? Like that when you get older, nobody wants to see a robot band.
That's the original robot band. You're right, Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, the animatronic. Yeah, forget. That's so crazy, man. Yeah, so you were talking about live streams earlier, and the way that can fold in to now your brand, right, if you will, as a revenue stream, right? And again, another way to interact with the fans. What other ways are you finding during all this, besides that? Or is there anything else, or is that really the main thing?
Well, I will say this, right? The live stream thing, for me, I enjoy doing it, but it wasn't very financially beneficial. I don't like asking for money, dude. I feel weird. Like, I didn't feel bad at first asking for just straight up donation money for my band and crew, because it 100% went to my band and crew, and I wanted it for them so badly. But after 4 or 5 times doing it, one, I did see the money decrease, goes down and down, and I understand that. But I don't know. I just don't like saying, by the way, we got to pay our bill. I don't know. It's like, I can see people listening going, hey, Kyle Park, you have your own tour bus. Why don't you just give your guys all your money and quit asking us for our money? And I understand where they're coming, although it's not accurate. I understand.
Right.
I get it. So,
sure.
Every musician I know is bleeding right now, and some guys are paying their bands more than others. Some guys let their bands go.
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where I feel like it probably is the best idea for my guys to go on unemployment. But we still have shows this weekend, so I don't want to. I don't know. It's a weird little situation. After we get back from South Dakota, I'll do that. But anyway, as far as making money, live stream, that wasn't a big thing for me as far as making money. I know we've done well on merchandising, new merchandise, new T-shirts and things, and having merchandise deals. I was autographing CDs every Friday. I'd do every CD is for sale for only $5, and I autograph them all. We were doing that.
Oh, nice.
A bunch of CDs were for sale. That worked out good. I know we're also I sell autographed handwritten lyrics to songs.
Oh, that's cool.
Things like that. They're all I do Cameo now. I'm on the Cameo bandwagon.
Okay. Yep.
And the one thing we're doing in the app, like hopefully today or tomorrow, releasing this information, is that we're going to be doing just private shows. Basically, we can't go to bars, we can't go to dance halls, but if you want to throw a party in your backyard, we'll do it. We'll do a party for you right now. Just get the
Sorry, my dogs.
can't even hear them. But yeah, just
good.
trying to find ways to do, not make money, but keep the band employed, honestly. And for our fans who miss seeing live music, well, I mean, if you have a backyard that's, won't get in trouble with your neighbors, we'll play in the living room. I don't care. We'll play somewhere for you. And we're also going to start doing like Zoom concerts though, like this. Have ways where
I like that.
Have like, it might be where it's 5 or 10 people, and you won't know those people, but you're all in the same room together. And I can ask each person individually where they're from, what their name is. It's like an actual.
That's kind of cool, actually. I haven't heard of that yet. That's cool.
I think I'm stealing Aaron Watson's idea, and I'm sure I don't know if he took it from somebody else or not, but I saw Aaron doing it this way, where instead of just charging one person a bunch of money and having them find 10 people,
sure.
How about I just charge individually a much lower price and have 10 strangers together, and it's like a concert.
Totally. No, I love that. That's interesting, especially with man. See, technology is finding its way right during all this. We're finding all these new and different ways that we have to adapt because of technology through all this. I'm seeing, like, for instance, businesses that have offices, right? Physical offices, that's going to decrease immensely, right? Once they figure out, oh, we can do this job remotely. What do we need to pay for rent and conference tables and, tacos on Tuesday for everybody, right? Like, we don't have to do that anymore. So yeah, that's what ways in music do you see that happening?
Well, besides songwriting, like I told you earlier, that's a big change for me. Just meetings in general, that's for sure. I don't have a lot of meetings to go to. I just do, conference calls if I have to. But, man, I guess it's a good question I don't know the answer to yet. As far as live performance, like I said, I don't think that live streaming will be the answer forever. I guess I could imagine that why wouldn't a venue, offer like subscription-based things to members of the venue, but if you can't come to the show that night, you can log on and watch the concert from your house.
That's good. That's a great idea.
And you can just always, every show, if you're a big fan of the venue and I can't go, I got the kids. I think it works for people who have families. That's one big thing we saw, by the way. Like, when I did the live streams, I really felt like it was an older audience because I think the younger audience still felt like doing something else. Sure. But the older audience who hadn't been to a concert in years because they weren't able to, were finally able to. Yeah. And that's also a reason why I think that donations were a big part, is because it was an older audience that had the ability to donate, their money. But also at the same time, that kind of wears out after a couple of weeks. It's like, well, we've given, enough money for the past 4 or 5 weeks to party, and we kind of cut down a little bit.
Well, you could do like tickets, right, for the show. I know a lot of, bands do it that way. They just sell a ticket for the live stream, and you buy a ticket. That way there's no donation. There's no nothing. You just buy a ticket for it. And I don't know.
So here's a good example of why I think that I'm not sure how that works, for example.
Sure.
Take George Strait, biggest artist, Texas flag behind you, right? Take George Strait.
Yeah, George Strait, baby.
If George Strait does a live stream show tonight for free, don't you think he's kind of diminishing his product and wasting money? Like, because he could sell tickets and make money, no doubt about it. But if he sells tickets, he's kind of a prick, because everybody else is doing it for free. So if you charge $100 for a live stream and thousands of folks are watching, you're kind of like, well, why am I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
I don't know. I think he's like, why does George Strait need my $100 when he's at his house doing this? Like, what's his overhead right now? Kind of thing. But again, back to, why would he do it for free? Yeah. Because I think he diminishes his product, because his whole deal is he only plays a couple of shows a year anyway. If you want to go see George, you better go to Vegas. He only plays 8 times a year. So I just think there's a there's conflicting reasons why certain people should and shouldn't do it.
Sure.
And I mean, personally, like at first I thought it was important to play every week. And now I'm like, I don't know if I don't know about diminishing product and the definition of how you do that and what, I mean, would it benefit me right now to play every single night on social media, or that run its course? I think it runs its course every night. If I do it
That's
every week,
interesting.
then it's a different question. Every month, do I do it on holidays? Do I do it like just once? I mean, it's supply and demand, and it's the question of like, it's up to each individual person. And I think each individual person is different too, according to their career. Like,
Yeah.
I think, for example, George Strait he is so established, he has the ability to stay out of the light for a couple of years and come back George Strait.
I mean, 100%.
But there's pop artists, I don't know their names, or there's country artists who have their newest single, they just got big like last year, and their guarantee went from 15,000 to 50,000 overnight. If they go away, that might ruin their career because we go back from 50 to 15 immediately.
Yeah.
So some of these guys who are hot right now, you got to strike while the iron's hot, and I think you play every week.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But then again, also, if you can't, but can you afford to do that? Like, can you afford to just play for free? But I know I've seen. I mean, Garth did it. Shit, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, man, you're right. This is an interesting time for the industry. It's like it's sort of just got all jumbled around, and everyone's trying to see what to do. You know, everybody's scrambling, trying to figure out what's the best approach moving forward. I mean, I think you make a lot of great points, man. To be honest with you, you know, I imagine this. I don't know why. I had this thought while you were talking about that. You know, in the restaurant industry right now, there's this sort of movement of something called a ghost kitchen. I don't know. Have you ever heard of that before? So
I guess like automated systems and machines doing it for you.
No. Which, good God, I hope the same thing with the robot band. I hope a robot kitchen scenario does not happen. But no, it's not that. It's basically a kitchen that's closed off to the public. So it's just a closed-in kitchen that operates like 10 restaurants out of one kitchen, and it's all delivery and takeout. But so you could have Joe's Pizza, you know, Sam's Chinese food and whatever, all working in one kitchen. The same cooks cooking everything. They're just, you know, working off these virtual menus, right, online. You know, there's no brick and mortar of the restaurant. It's just this delivery place. So I can imagine almost something like that for music venues. And this is how I would explain it. So it would be like, you know, you actually, as a band, you go to an actual venue to play the show. But instead of there being the crowd, it's a virtual crowd. So you share the revenue and stream with the place, right? So you're still getting employees of the venue work, your crew and band are getting work, and you know, but now you're streaming it out to, I mean, literally globally, right? Anybody could log on that wants to log on, and maybe that just like a venue, that's what they do. They just become this virtual ghost. You know, any band can come in and play, but you actually physically do have to go there and play, and it streams out. I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know, man. You know, I'm spitballing here. I don't know. That's, you know, it's a podcast, idea. Right?
Man, that's a pretty cool idea. I know what I did in May, a buddy of mine, when they shut down bars, there was no bars. Actually, I think it was just at 25% occupancy. Maybe they just made that clear at 25% occupancy. But the place my buddy has, it's Mesquite Creek Outfitters in Georgetown, Texas, on the square of Georgetown. But they're also an apparel store. They sell apparel, so they were able to be at 50% capacity.
Got it. Okay.
Well, what we did was I brought the band there, the whole lights, sound system, everything, and they had like 20 people in the crowd that like employees and VIPs. And what we did was I convinced Mesquite Creek to help purchase a film team to come film for social media content. So one, we did a live stream where Facebook followers of mine and Mesquite Creeks could watch us. Two, while we did the concert, we had a video team filming music videos basically. So that, you know, at least you weren't able to have the crowd there, but you're able to have a band for your crowd at home, plus social media content for the future to advertise future things. It was kind of knocking out two birds with one stone.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's smart. That's just smart.
That could be the future of venues, but it all comes down to how do you pay for that? You have to have a sponsor to do that, and who's willing to sponsor you if no one's coming to the show. It's just there's so many moving parts, but like you said, there's a lot of cool. I mean, I'll tell you one thing: this has all made everyone think outside the box extremely.
100%. 100%. Absolutely. I mean, it's all that's happening in restaurants and bars. Everyone's thinking outside the box. What can we do? How can we pivot? How can we make money? Again, the same thing. You can't just, we got to stop. There's a pandemic, right? We can't make any more money. We can't pay everybody's bill. I mean, no, you've got to find a way to, make things happen. So yeah, 100%. It's all about being creative right now. And honestly, what I feel most bad about, and I'm sure this is probably the same case with either musicians or live music venues, was if you were already struggling before the pandemic, right, you're done for, right? It's done. I mean, there's just, it's the last blow, right? Crucial blow. And that devastates me because, restaurants and bars, bars work on a better margin than a restaurant does, but you're already working on thin margins. So yeah, that just honestly, it saddens me, man. I think about it every day, to be honest with you.
No,
it breaks my heart.
No, I know that I'm fortunate that I'm still able to play music and do what I do, and it's not about the money. I mean, when it comes down to, it's not about my money when it comes to me wanting to play right now. It comes down to the guys who have been with me for years and years.
I get it. You're the leader, man, right? You've taken care of them this whole time. You're just finding another way to take care of them. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I get it, man. I mean, when I had my business, I would be doing everything right now to take care of my employees. I'd be sacrificing myself, not paying do whatever I had to do to make sure they'd take care of them. Now, of course, you have to always look out for yourself, because if you're not doing okay, then you can't take care of anybody, right? That's numero uno. But it's a balance. It's tough.
You're in business, right? It's like, and one of the toughest thing too, I mean, I've had musicians and crew members who have felt this way, and luckily I don't think my guys feel this way right now because they're all smart, been around for a long time, but there's fans who for sure feel this way, right? That here I am like, hey, how much does it cost for Kyle Park to play a gig? $10,000. Just make $20,000. It's like, he knows $20,000. It's like, well, he's not putting $20,000 in his pocket.
Not at all. Exactly.
There's a booking agency. There's management. There's diesel. There's salaries. There's like 9 contract laborers. Musicians and thing. There's the bus broke down the way there. By the way, I had to fix that. Taxes. There's just so many things that go down the road. It's like, I would guess that, I mean, most of there is a good thing, right? If I made $100,000 on one show, well, I'd probably make like 80% of that money, 70% of that money. But if I make $5,000, I make 0% of $5,000.
Totally.
Totally. There is that break-even point, and then it kind of starts doing this.
Yeah.
But that's a funny thing, and just people definitely think that all musicians who have a CD out are rich, and it's like, no, that's not true. Like, I mean,
not at all. I saw somebody, Facebook groups. I definitely monitor some Facebook groups and whatever, and service industry ones are just hilarious to me, to be honest with you. It's all about busting balls and whatever. I'm all about that. It's all in good fun. So anyway, there was this guy complaining about business owners, right? Just all restaurant and bar owners, just all of them, that they're all, rich and they all have a house and a yacht to fall back on and all this. Maybe not a yacht, but it's just like they all have like a summer home. It's like,
he must not know the bars.
I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Like, are you kidding me? Do you really think all restaurant or bar owners, some of the times they have literally nothing. They're giving it all to make sure it stays afloat. Like,
they have the bar. That's all they have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're crazy. It's like, that's not the case at all. But that's the mentality from some people who maybe have never been in that position, or for some reason just can't, right? They can't see the forest through the trees for some reason.
That guy drinking. Just because you spent $10,000 drinking here doesn't mean I still have $10,000.
Yeah, you could have been part owner with that. You should have.
Yeah. You're just helping pay the bills, keeping the lights on, buddy.
Yeah, man. It's again, it's a tough time. I think people are all struggling. everyone's going through something we've never been through. Tensions are high, and I get it. My whole thing is, like my wife and I talk about, it's just about being patient with people and trying to understand their perspective and where they're coming from, because we're all, living a different life. We all have different responsibilities, different build. Like nobody knows what's going on, right? But basically between each other. So yeah, I think we just have to be a little bit more respectful and just try to get through it together. I think that's the main thing, and not fighting, not turning on each other, but let's try to get, through this together and really start pushing the blame where it needs to go, not to each other, because we're all struggling. I hate when I see people that both work hard for a living, right? Multiple jobs, take care of and then they're fighting. It's like, y'all have the same battles. I hate that. It breaks my heart, man. It just breaks my heart. But I understand. I mean, it's tough right now for people.
It is. It's tough right now for people. And
it is.
It's tough. I do hope that people are. What's the joke I heard when it first happened? There will be more divorces and more babies born than ever before. People are at home.
Totally. Absolutely, man. I mean, 100%. Yeah. There's, it's funny because some people you'll talk to, they're like, I'm doing great. And they're like privately like whispering it to you, right? Like I hate to say it, but like everything's great for me for whatever reason. I've talked to a few people like that, they've spent the most time with their family they've ever spent, right? With their kids. I talked to a friend of mine, a father who lives in Chicago recently. And that's what he told me. He said, man, I got 4 months every day with my kids. Like, when am I going to get this time again? Like, I love it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You're right there. Yeah. I mean, I know that I'm basically newly married. I got married last April, and
congrats.
Thank you. Sorry, I was pausing. To be real, like, I mean, I think like I would have to guess, like most musicians, me being gone is the hardest part of my career and our relationship.
Sure.
And
100%.
Still being newly married, it's like I leave every single weekend. And so there was never a time where it's like, okay, this is what it feels like for you to be home all the time. Until now, I don't want to speak for her, but I'm pretty sure she's excited about me leaving this weekend too, for the first time. just to change it up and to get back to what we're used to doing. And
yeah.
I mean, I'll miss her. She'll miss me. I'll be gone for like 12 days coming up. And that's a long time gone compared to being home, like, I don't know, for the past 120 days. I can tell you this. Since I was 20 years old, I mean, even before that, because I haven't been home this much since I was in high school, like playing baseball. I was even on the road playing baseball in high school. But as far as like being an adult, having a job, being a musician, I was touring when I was 19, 20 years old, and I've never had this many weekends off in a row, ever, and I hope I never will.
That's a great point. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy, right? That's crazy.
It's weird. I mean, I truly feel unemployed right now. Not every day, but there's hours of the day where I'm like, I could just like play PlayStation. I don't even feel guilty right now. I don't even like video games, but I could do it because I got nothing to do. Like,
totally.
There's no true like urge to get something done. Like besides writing songs, besides being productive and creative all the time, like I don't have to get, I don't know, that email out or that phone call out because we're not going anywhere right now. We're all just kind of sticking around to figure out what the governor's going to say next.
Totally. Yeah. It's hard to plan ahead. That's the worst part for me is, right. You look to right. You're trying to plan ahead. It's how and it's just so hard to make a plan. This is just almost impossible to try to make plans right now. Yeah, it is, man. It's tough, man. It's tough. I'm glad you guys
in South Dakota. I'm like, we leave in a couple of days and I'm just still thinking they might call and they might say, sorry, we thought we could do it, but we just can't now. And that can totally happen. And I convinced myself months ago that I'm not going to hope for the best and be disappointed. I'm just going to expect the worst and maybe get, surprised pleasantly, maybe.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, man, I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm sorry that the struggle is like that.
I don't mean life. I just mean music, the industry.
No, for sure.
I don't mean me.
No, absolutely. Of course. But it is a struggle, man. And I think that's, you're just showing true, emotions of that you, first of all, that you care about the people that, help you be who you are, right? Without them, it's you can't do it all yourself. So I think that's great, man, that you recognize that and that you're looking out for them. And I think that I think that weight on your shoulders is what a lot of people who are in your position can completely relate to, man. I mean, that is just, it sucks right now, man. And you have to make tough decisions, right? Unless you come from a place of leadership or ownership before, you don't really know what that's like. And it's hard.
And I do want to say all the stuff I've been saying, I'm only speaking for myself, not for my peers, because I know certain peers feel differently. I know a couple of them are just fed up and fired up about getting back out there. And
I get it.
My peers are just like not ready, period.
Yeah.
So
I get that too.
I'm somewhere in between, no doubt.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm in between. It's just tough, right? I'm a roller coaster, to be honest with you, of emotions every day. I think sometimes I wake up in the morning ready to just burst out of this house and go do something, and other days I'm not that way at all. I don't even know what to expect from myself. Like it's, yeah, man, it's just, Again, so my thing is just I just fall back on patience, trying to understand people, where they're coming from, their perspective. And I'm just sympathetic to people's struggles. No matter what you're feeling, I get it right now. It's tough it's just tough.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, man, listen, man, this has been a really awesome, honest, open conversation, man. And I really, appreciate your insightful thoughts really into the industry and everything that's going on, man. And, I feel like you got a really big heart, man. And that's probably a big reason your fan base is behind you and your crew's behind you and everything. So that's just really cool to hear. And again, I'm just so sorry you're having to deal with all this and all these struggles. So, I wish you the best with all the shows you got coming up, and for your crew, your bandmates, everybody, man. I wish you all the best.
Well, thank you very much. Now, for everybody out there listening too, I'm not the one struggling like some people out there. So I feel for the ones who are truly, truly struggling. So, thank you for your words, Patrick. At the same time, there's, I know that there's a lot more important things that need to get going. That's what it all boils down to for me, is that when it comes down to it, there's more important things than going to concerts. And I hate to say it because that's my business,
sure.
but I'd be a fool to say otherwise, man. Like, getting kids back in school is more important than going to concerts. Let's just be real, right? Let's just, there's a lot more important things. So, for example, and I am ready to play music again. I'll be the first one out there playing, but at the same time, I just, we got to stay safe, got to do what's right, and just be patient and I mean, not do what we're told exactly, but just use your head,
Yeah. Use your head. Yeah, absolutely. Let's stay calm through all this, if anything, right? At the end of the day. So yes, man, absolutely. Well, again, man, my best to, to you and your family and, to your band and your crew and everybody, man. So
thank you.
Wish you the best, Kyle.
Thanks for having me. This has been great.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah. I expect you to have like a little white cat. I love with just that little background, just like, right? Just like, yeah. It's the perfect chair for the villain. Yeah. I love it. It's, I need something like that. I love it, man.
That's hilarious.
I love it.
Hey, well, you know what? I do have this cat.
Oh shit. Holy shit. For one split second, that might have been real in my head. I was, whoa, oh shit. Oh man, that thing is crazy. I love that. That would scare the crap out of me at night if I got it. I'm one of those guys that still go, get up, take a piss in the middle of the night, just not really. Oh, that would scare this. I mean,
that's why I say in this office where walk by the middle of the night and scare the shit out of you.
I love it. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that, Kyle. Well, yeah, again, man, enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck on your trip and, Godspeed, brother.
Sweet. Thank you, sir. You too.
All right. I really hope you enjoyed that podcast as much as I did. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to email the podcast at patrick@texasrealfood.com. And don't forget, you can check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, all the different places you can get podcasts. You'll find us on there. Or you can just go to our website, go to thelonestarplate.com. And you can check us out on YouTube if you want to watch it. We video these now, on a little webcam here. And go to the Texas Real Food YouTube channel and you can find it there. Make sure to follow Texas Real Food as well on Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please leave us a review anywhere you can. Follow us on Spotify or leave a review on Apple Podcast. That would really help us out. Thanks again for listening. Really do appreciate it. Without you guys, what's the point of doing this? So if you have any suggestions on how we can make the show better, please let us know. Thanks again. Be safe out there. Wash your hands.